So then, before we get into the fundraising aspects and all of that, tell me about how you were a kid going to Wonderworks and then kind of went off and went to college and started a career and all of that. And then how did you end up getting back involved and now being in the position that you're in?
Fundraising. Well, a lot of it just has to do with a lot of the relationships I've made with friends and family throughout the years, and being back in the hometown of which I grew up in. And so several of my good friends were on the board. And when I was working full time, I just really didn't have the time nor the energy to be able to focus on and volunteering as much. And so I was involved at some of their fundraising events, but just sort of definitely on the fringes of things. And then I had the opportunity, well, when I stepped down from my position, working full time, I was able to really give more of a concerted effort. And this past summer, my friend Laura Faraday, who really was the force of this fundraising effort up until now, she definitely has got to us to that $245,000 mark. I cannot take any credit for that whatsoever, so I want to make sure I compliment Laura because she really worked hard to get to that point. She had the opportunity to go with her family to New Zealand for a year, and so she was going to be out of the country and really needed somebody to step in and take over for her. And so
that was you.
We had been working together, on some other special projects. We established a new exhibit fund, actually in memory of my mother-in-law, who was part of the original group of ladies that worked to bring Wonderworks to the Dalles. So,
really?
So Kathy was, she was a part of that, and actually I think her and her husband Mike, they brought there was a pump. You remember the old pump that you could pump water out of? It was in one of the first locations.
Really?
And so actually that actually came from the ranch, and Carolyn Kortge as well. So we were establishing a fund in her memory.
Okay.
Because she passed away last summer and really wanted to have an opportunity to honor her legacy. And she was a lifelong teacher. She taught elementary school and before she had her family. And so Laura came to me and we kind of worked together and be able to establish that fund. And so that's going to bring new exhibits into the museum on an ongoing basis. And so as we were working together on that project, she asked if I would consider taking over for her as she went abroad for the year. So I kind of got sucked in to the Wonderworks world, but it's been wonderful. It's really been a great way to reconnect. I have lots of really good friends.
Good.
The board, the Wonderworks board of directors is amazing. They're very dedicated. They have been dedicated for the last 30 years.
Right.
That's why it's been
Still
something
here.
that's been, it's really truly amazing that it's lasted this long. The community support has also been amazing to be able to have that longevity.
I would imagine, it would have to after to sustain itself.
Right.
For 30
I mean,
years.
you think about that, and
So,
some
most
of the
things don't make it 30 years, let alone a volunteer children's museum.
Right. Yeah. It's real, and in so many of the ups and downs. I mean, there's a lot of drama in the story of Wonderworks, and getting to have a building and not, and are we open or not? And it's just really been this almost soap opera like drama that's happened.
Because there was actually around 2 years or so where the museum did have to close.
Yeah, absolutely, right? In the 80s, and there's been a little bit of that kind of back and forth when the PlayStation can't stay open. We've been able to keep things open pretty solidly for the last 10 or so years. But we had to close completely, and things just sort of fell apart, and that was kind of the dark years, we call it. But there was still that underlying current, and it's really fun actually in being able to go around, and we're getting ready to do a community event in May, and just talking to folks and talking about that event. It's been really fun to be able to, I'm saying from Wonderworks. Oh yeah, what's going on? I haven't heard of you guys for a while. My kids used to go there. That's really great. It's a really fun connection to have with this community.
Yeah. Well, I went there as a kid.
Yeah.
And
see,
so
everyone goes to Wonderworks.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you've been around this community and you were, young, you probably took a field trip or something there. Now, do you guys still do field trips?
We haven't been able to host that. We did bring a traveling exhibit in this year, and we partnered with OMSI and the Public Health Department and the school district, District 21, and we brought in a traveling exhibit called Everybody Eats. And so we were able to host that at one of the schools, at Watonka High School. And so that was really exciting to be able to start to get back into more of that programming, because that's what we really want to have the opportunity to do more of that with the new facility. And we've been able to consistently maintain a lot of the programming. We've had a lot of the music programs of arts, sciences, different craft projects. And so those have been on an ongoing basis, but we've always had to rent out space to do that or find a location, kind of beg, borrow, an extra a spot. And so, but again, community support, being able to host those sort of field trips. For Everybody Eats, we got to host, I think, every elementary school in the Gorge was able to attend. So that was really, really exciting. Yeah, we had a great attendance for that. So
wow,
it was fun.
That's incredible.
It was really fun. Yeah.
So then, during the those 2 years when it closed down, who sort of was instrumental in reviving it and getting it reopened?
Well, I'm so not the best person to ask sometimes some of those questions, but Betsy Hagee and some other ladies. I mean, I go back to a quote somebody said long ago that as long as there's young children in the Dalles, there's going to be a need for Wonderworks. And again, these moms with young kids, saw that, wow, we really need to get this open again. We really need to find a permanent space. We really need to have this established. And so they kind of dusted off some of the exhibits and were able to rent some space again and have some things open temporarily. And then again, it kind of revived again in the late 90s and 2000.
So how many times has it been moved?
Oh, at least 6 or 8.
Really?
At least, yes.
How long has the PlayStation piece of Wonderworks been there?
In the church. Probably early 2000, I would say.
Okay, so quite a while there.
Quite a while actually, to be consistently in that place. I'm pretty sure that there's some of the photos I was looking at the other day, just looking at ages of kids. And I'm like, okay, they're 7. Okay, they're 7 now. So I would guess that was probably about 2001 or so.
Okay, early 2000s then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's been really nice to be able to at least have that space.
Right.
And it's in a wonderful location in that classroom, and so we really appreciate it.
I've actually been in that location as well.
I
tried not to play with too many of the toys. I was getting a little big for that. But
yeah, exactly.
We'll talk about, when we come back from the break, we'll talk about the new building.
Okay, great.
And the exciting things that you guys have planned there. So Wonderworks' new location when we come back. Be right back.
When we return,
it's time, if we're going to really establish this as a permanent space and not be renting, and to really make it sustainable. Of course, we had to do a lot of research and look at other children's museums and why they are successful, but then we also realized that we were going to need some outside support.